It's the dumbest shit we have on television. It honestly is.
You can't make this up. Nothing has been more obvious than Stephen A. Smith, but you don't have a career if you're Stephen A. Smith unless you say stupid stuff like that. It's really not difficult to figure out why. He didn't mention the fact that Grier is already being sued. And this is sad. There's real racism across this country. There is. There's real racism across the globe. But what we do is we make up racism where none exists. And nothing has been more obvious than Stephen A. Smith and the little guys over there at ESPN that are trying so damn hard to stay relevant with racism. Hey, that's racist. Hey, that's racist. At some point, you just got to say, shut the living hell up. Just shut up. You want to be treated equal, you're going to get fired. White dudes get fired all the time. Asian guys get fired. Women get fired all the time. You want special but equal? Equal but special? What would you like? But this is totally ridiculous, and this happened last week, and I'm glad we're going to talk about it. Stop me if you've heard this before. Would you please? Stop me. Stop me if you heard Stephen A. Smith or one of the dumbasses on ESPN calling something racist where race has nothing to do with it. You know, even in this world, you're not even allowed to say things that are true, or not allowed according to them, according to normal human beings. You could say things that are true and not be called a racist. But when you say things that are true, and Stephen A. Smith and these idiots that make money off of racism and off of scared white executives, well, they got to keep that narrative alive. Here's the latest one, and this is beyond stupid. It's just beyond stupid. Smith's playing the race card. We knew it was a matter of time. We did. It was only a matter of time because he had been getting jumped on after criticizing Jasmine Crockett by the African-American community. Why are you hating on a black woman? All that stupidity. I mean, treat people equal. When a white dude treats people equal, racist, bigot, shut up. Just shut up. So the latest NFL firing a black man who was replaced by a black man whose job, a black man's job, the head coach was saved. It's racist that they fired the one black man who got replaced by a black man and they didn't fire the other black man. This is how stupid this stuff is. The day following the Dolphins being absolutely dominated by the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, I told you at some point you got to look at these players. Like, everybody wants to get on Mike McDaniel, and you should. He stinks. All right? Right, he's horrible. I mean, he's a fraud. He actually insults coaches. He and Chauncey Billups are the two most insulting human beings to coaches. But anyway, so they fired Chris Grier in Miami, the guy who, as Bill Belichick famously said, bought the groceries, a bunch of quitters. But they kept Mike McDaniel. Grier is black. McDaniel, they all told us, was black when they needed to. Apparently he's black and white, and they replaced Grier with a black guy. But Stephen A. Smith, well, here's what he had to say in his total and complete ignorance and desire to be relevant and desire to be, Al Sharpton, where you don't have to pay taxes and you can stay at the Four Seasons, smoke $100 cigars, and drink cognac. Here's Smith talking about this firing. This is how stupid he is.
This BS. That's the first fire? Really? That's what we doing? Well, what we've seen, what we just finished talking about, there's things that need to be modified, et cetera, but the personnel that they have on their squad, although we're not happy with it, we didn't walk into this season thinking they were going to be trash. We looked at their roster and we said they got some potential. We'll see what happens. It was about Tua. It was about Mike McDaniel. And the brother get fired first. All I know is this. I better hear Mike McDaniel's name today.
Oh, my God.
I better hear Mike McDaniel's name today.
But
it better not be just Chris Grier. And I'm not saying that he don't deserve it because of the way they look. At the end, you at the helm. I got it. I understand it. Listen, I'm all for brothers as head coaches, GMs. We know what battles I've been fighting for over 30 years. Okay, I got it. All right? But because when you don't get the job done, you don't get the damn job done. Period. I got it. Don't tell me it's just him. Don't tell me we going to leave Mike McDaniels in place and we just going to fire him and we going to move forward. Damn that. I don't want to hear. I'm waiting for more news. I can't defend Chris Grier with some of the decisions that have been made personnel-wise. I got it. I understand it. It's unfortunate, but I got it. But I'll be damned if it gets to stop there. Oh, hell no.
I mean, he's Kamala Harris. I mean, you hear how he's talking? When he's got to go brother, he goes brother. It's the funniest shit ever. Listen to this stupidity. Let me explain something to this idiot who's never played or never coached. I'm sitting there as the owner, Stephen Ross, and I watch a bunch of players that have quit. That may be on the coach, and I understand the dummies in the media will say that about the coach. I totally get that. I totally get that people will say it is the coach that lost the locker room. No. You brought in a bunch of quitting dogs to that franchise. That's right. That's what I said. Dogs. When you quit, you are in the vernacular of athletics, a dog, not a D-A-double-G. You're just a dog. You don't want to play. Not the good kind of dog. There's two kind of dogs. Hey, man, I'm a dog. No. You are a freaking quitter. And that's who Chris Grier brought in. Now, if they wanted to fire Mike McDaniel, of course. But what Smith just said there is complete Smith gibberish. And he's trying to go brother on you. I mean, I've been dealing with this forever. I laugh about it. We got an afternoon host here in Indy that when he gets African-American, he changes the way he speaks. He's a white guy. I get it. People do that. Okay, I better not hear. Well, you did. What are you doing? I better not hear. Really? Like you're all powerful? Well, okay. You didn't hear Mike McDaniel's name. I mean, so what? I better not hear. What, really? All right. Well, I mean, if you said to me, I better not hear, I'm immediately going to do it. And if you walked up on me, you're going to get punched out. I better not hear. Really? You just did. I mean, look, Chris Grier brought in garbage. So, wait, it's a black thing, except McDaniel, whose job got saved, is a black guy. I mean, when they needed him to be a black guy, he's half and half, right? He's 50%, I guess, mom or dad is white, whatever. When they needed him to be black, Mina Kimes and all of them said, oh, they hired a black coach. He's the coolest. Now we want him fired, of course. And Chris Grier was replaced by, wait for it, to use the vernacular of Stephen A. Smith, a brother. Gee, you can't make this shit up. You cannot make up the level of stupid that goes on every day with Stephen A. Smith, Ryan Clark, Mina Kimes, and the others at ESPN. You cannot make it up. You can't. Honest to God, here is Brendan. Here is awful announcing's Brandon Contis. No one thinks McDaniel's a long-term answer at head coach, but there is more urgency to move on from the general manager. If Miami decided a rebuild is necessary and reasoned, Grier won't be the GM to administer this. Remember now, though, Grier is also being sued by an African-American, Brian Flores, for being an idiot. I mean, just remember that. He's also being sued. There is a lawsuit going on by a former head coach, Brian Flores, against Chris Grier for some stupid stuff. And Stephen Ross, the white owner, stood by Chris Grier. But, of course, Stephen A. Smith, L. Sharpton, he don't understand that. And no matter how he talks, no matter whether he goes white conservative speech or African-American speech or anything in between, let's just be honest. You get sued, your team stinks, your players quit, you brought in the players, it's the mafia, you're gone. Now, in the mafia, they kill you. Here, they just pay you off and tell you goodbye. In terms of Smith raising an eyebrow at Grier's firing while the quarterback and head coach keeps their job, it's worth pointing out that Tua Tagovailoa is Samoan. And Mike McDaniel is, well, biracial. Any bad taste in Smith's mouth or uneasiness in his stomach should be relieved by the fact that Grier had been in the front office for more than a quarter century, served as a general manager, was replaced by a black guy. I put that in. And during his tenure with the Dolphins, Grier became the longest tenured GM without a playoff victory in NFL history. If anything, the more reasoned question around Miami parting ways with Grier should be, what took so long? It's almost like Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark are fighting to be the dumbest two people in the media. Like it's a brawl. Who can be dumber? Look, I get it. By keeping these narratives alive, others will join in. Yeah, the brother got fired. No. See, one of the things we do here, which has made us incredibly popular, is we just treat everybody the same. White dude gets fired. Why'd he get fired? Here's why. Okay. Chris Grier gets fired. Why'd he get fired? Okay. There's no racism here. There's nothing here. But you don't have a career if you're Stephen A. Smith unless you say stupid stuff like that. So good for him, man. He's making $20 million to say stupid stuff like that. I mean, good. Hey, God bless America, baby. But there's nothing racist there. There's just stupid here. It's really difficult. It really is. It's really difficult to figure out. Or it's really not difficult to figure out why. It sells. It pays. You think Stephen A. Smith could sit there and tell you what actually happened in a basketball game or what actually happened in a football game or what actually happened in a baseball game from a strategy standpoint? Of course not. He has no chance. Zero, zip, none. So he's got to yell. He's got to scream. He's got to go nuts. And you all got to pay attention to it and say, yeah. It's the dumbest shit we have on television. It honestly is. And by the way, Jalen Phillips, a pass rusher, just got traded. I'm telling you, man, that is the better question. This guy, Contes, who's normally a little douchebag, he was pretty smart with that. Hey, why is he there anyway? Why is Grier even there? And he didn't mention the fact that Grier was replaced by an African-American. He didn't mention the fact that Grier is already being sued. Man, see, racism exists, but this fake racism, it cheapens. It absolutely cheapens, and I'm sad to see it. I am. I'm very sad to see it. It cheapens real racism when guys like Smith do this for money. When the grift is so strong, $20 million a year, they can't talk about sports. They can't talk about what really happened. They've never been inside. Clark has. He's just stupid. Smith is smart. Smith knows the lay of the land. Can't talk about sports. Has to talk about this. That's all he got. Or joke around about the Cowboys. That's good. Hey, by the way, this show is presented to you by Prize Picks. We hit again, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome. You are very welcome. We're hitting a freaking big. Here's the deal. The episode brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day. On Prize Picks, being right and get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including my boys down there in Georgia, Cali, and Texas. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players gets hurt in the first half, boop, we wipe it off. They won't count it as a loss at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users. Sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code DAKICH to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Dakich, DAKICH, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You know, this hurts my soul. John Morant. When John Morant was at Murray State, Seth Greenberg went down there. I was working at ESPN. Seth Greenberg went down to Murray, Kentucky, and really spent a couple days with Morant, his family, the coaches, and he told me privately, this is a great family and a great kid. This is the next superstar. Great family. Fantastic family dynamic. Humble. Boy, has that changed. The dad thinks he's Usher, sitting there in the front row at games, making a scene with his shades on. The kid, I don't know what the hell's becoming a kid, except I guess we would say, hey, look, he has not been able to handle fame. You know, a guy like LeBron James always fascinates. You can like LeBron, you can dislike LeBron, whatever you want to do, fine. But you can't disparage his career, and you can't disparage pretty much, at least publicly, the way he's handled his career. Has there been missteps? Of course. And I would argue there is nobody in the history, ever, that has had more on him than LeBron James from the time he was at whatever that school was in Cleveland. I can't remember it right now. I went there all the time. Villa Angela, St. Joe. No, that's not it. That's Clark Kellogg. I don't know. Akron, St. something. St. Vincent, St. Mary's. That's it. I just figured it out. As a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, whatever it was, and moving on through 20-some years in the NBA, LeBron's been pretty good, man. Started business has been pretty good. The opposite is this kid Morant. And this makes me sad. John Morant, not even a month into the season, has been suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. So this after Morant, who's never won a thing, ever, challenged the authority of Coach Tomas Ilyaso following a loss to the Lakers. After the loss, Morant was asked at his locker during a media scrum what happened at the end of the game where Morant disappeared down the stretch. His responses were eye-opening and stupid. No, they were. To say the least, he continually undermined the coaching staff with flippant answers and a sarcastic tone. Here's what Morant had to say post-game.
What went wrong for you today? Go ask the coaching staff.
Do you feel like, it was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay.
You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff. Should I play more or not?
What could have been done? What could have been done different, get a different outcome, other than asking the coaching staff?
According to them, probably don't play me. Honestly, that's what basically the message was after. So it's cool.
The coaching staff message was
It's
that?
cool.
We good? You didn't have anything physically wrong in terms of illness or anything?
Oh, no,
you
I'm
were
good.
under the
I'm
weather?
fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
That's great. The NBA's a month in, and we got more stupid. Honest to God. This dude has had buddies flashing guns at Pacers personnel underneath stadiums. He's been suspended, punching, sued, whatever. Man, oh, man. It's just sad because by all accounts, he has just simply not been able to handle fame. Hey, I get it. It's not nearly at the same level. I remember I had to start handling fame at 17. Not to that level, not even close, but it is different. All of a sudden, we played the state finals in Indiana, and I got all kind of shit going on. Committed to Indiana University. I got girls knocking on my door. I got everything. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. It's about 1/100, so I understand, but he has not been able to handle it. He's been terrible. He's been a mess, and they've never won a thing. Like, they haven't done anything with him there, and it's all getting worse. Man. All right, well, here's the deal. Morant is going to be suspended. And you know what happens now? Here's what happens. People just go, it's the same people. Isn't it? It's the same guy or same girl. This is since Steve Howe back in the late 70s, early 80s. It's just the same people. It's the same people doing stupid stuff. It's the same people getting suspended. It's the same people getting in fights. It's the same people getting arrested. How many times have we seen Pac-Man Jones? If you want to know where I learned it's the same people, look up Steve Howe, pitcher, Los Angeles Dodgers arrest. He got suspended 8-9 times from Major League Baseball and kept playing. And I remember it as a high school kid going, damn, again? Or is this last week? I don't know. No, it's pretty amazing. It really is. It's astounding that people just continually do stupid stuff, and this guy has become the poster child in the NBA for stupid stuff. And now his own team is like, yeah, I want you to sit out this game. And then here's what I would do. Here's what I did with the guy that maybe I had to suspend. I didn't suspend much. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good. But I wouldn't let the guy go out there and sit on the bench during warm-ups. I say, hey, man, you're suspended. There's the trainer's room. You're going to ride a bike with two of the managers and one of the grad assistants while we play. You're not going to sit out there and have everybody tell, oh, man, stay strong. Oh, man, you the man. Shut up. Somebody needs to kick this clown in the ass. Somebody needs to say, look, dumbass, you're going to piss away a ton of money, which if you probably already have, and your legacy should be as a Hall of Fame player. But your legacy is just going to be another guy that put up numbers in the NBA that ends up being a pussy. If you really want to know the truth, because that's what he is. Doesn't have the guts to go talk to a man privately. Doesn't have the guts to work on his game. Doesn't have the guts to not hang with his boys pulling guns. Just a pussy. I get it. In this day and age, I'm old school, bald, fat, whatever. Just a pussy. It takes hard work and toughness to work every day. It takes hard work and toughness to do what LeBron James has done in his career. It takes some balls to do what LeBron James has done. Raise a family. You may not like LeBron James, but he raises his family. You ever think LeBron James is out of shape? You ever think LeBron James doesn't give you a pretty good effort every night on the court? Throughout his entire career? I don't know, man. Has LeBron James ever been suspended by his team? Ever? You may not like him, but you got to respect. Since 16, 17 years old with a microscope on him as big as my head, very few, if any, missteps. No. That guy's an idiot, this Morant. Hey, enjoying the show? Well, why not? No one else is going to give you this. Make sure you head on over youtube.com/@don'tatme with Dan Dakich to like, comment, and subscribe. That way you'll never miss any of our great content. Coach Josh Pastner back in business after a very successful stint in television. Head coach at UNLV. Josh the Shark. Let's go. Let's get this done. Let's go. UNLV. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, Coach. Thanks for having me. Yes, you're right. Every time that I go into Thomas and Mack Arena and able to look at the rafters, and first of all, as you know, some of the incredible players that have played here at UNLV, but also you look at Jerry Tarkanian, and he had won in 20 some odd years being here 83% of his games because they got his name retired up there. Obviously, it's on the court as well too, but it has his winning percentage. It's just incredible. In order to see that at 83%, it's amazing. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do. I tell you what, Coach, being back at it, first of all, has been really cool. I've loved every second of it. Have loved every second of it. But there's two challenges, and because taking over. We'd assigned 13 new players. So you have 13 new players. It's a brand new team. And you know this because you sat in the chair. Like, you sit there in October and you're like, man, we are so far behind. Like, we haven't put this in. We haven't put that in. We haven't done this. We haven't done that. Because when you have such a brand new team and no returning guys and you're trying to put everyone together, I mean, just the littlest of thing of trying to get everyone on the same page about closing out properly or sprinting to the ball or, how regarding down screens. I mean, you don't really realize it until you do it when you start with all 13 new guys. And then the second thing is we've been banged up with injuries. And so that's been a little bit of a challenge as well too, that when you have injuries and you're about to start playing games and some good players that have been injured, we've had good players that are injured and they're out. How eventually, once they cleared and they can get back, I mean, how do I institute them back in because they've been out for so long and trying to get them in within the rhythm, flow, and energy of the game. As you know, those are the two been probably the most challenging parts. But other than that, it's been just absolutely awesome.
I want to get into the whole Vegas. Danny Mullen's been on the show a few times and he's talked about embracing it. You just saw what happened with gambling and the NBA and all that kind of stuff. For years, conference tournaments avoided Vegas, professional leagues avoided Vegas, and now it's like 5 conference tournaments are in Vegas. How is it for you? It's the gambling capital, but hell, anybody on a phone can gamble anytime they want anywhere legally in most states. How do you navigate this given where you are at in Sin City, as they call it?
Yeah, what I would tell you, first of all, Coach, is you're right. Everything is you can gamble anywhere now these days. You can you have it on your phone. You can go anywhere. And let me just tell you this: the NCAA and everybody else was so anti coming to Vegas for so long. I mean, look, Coach. 2028, the NCAA Final Fours here. They're having Super Bowls here. Right. The NBA is eventually going to have a team here. They have a WNBA team. They've got an NFL team. They've got a Major League Baseball team coming here. They got an NHL team. So I just think, and I tell our guys all the time, obviously about the importance of protecting yourself to avoid the gambling. And it's not about going into the casinos. You know what I mean? I mean, you could. It's more about, I think the most scary thing is for college athletes is the prop betting. I think that's where you've got to be careful, where people could say, hey man, I'll give you an extra 7,000 or 8,000 or 10,000, just miss your first free throw. Or, hey man, if instead of going 5 for 8 from the field, if you can somehow make it where you're 4 for 10, where maybe it doesn't seem that big, and I'll throw you an extra 5. I think the biggest and scary thing is prop betting. And because the person might not think, yeah, I can miss an extra shot or I'll just miss 1 or 2 free throws. It's not going to affect the outcome of the game that big of a deal. And I think that's the biggest thing right there is you got to be careful of is the prop betting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. If somebody, we have legalized gambling here in Indy, and if somebody told me we're going to eliminate prop bets in college sports, I'd say great. That that would be great if you could do that because it's too easy, isn't it? I mean, kids on a college campus, it's not like you live in a gated community behind like Michael Jordan up in Deerfield or wherever the hell he lived in Highland Park. There's a lot of access to kids by other students, and it's just it's too easy, like you said. It's just too easy, is it not?
Yeah, well, and Coach, even though guys in college are making money, you listen, you understand the deal. An extra 5 or 7, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Right.
If someone says, and hey, you do this, and nobody's going to know. And in their mind, they might, so to me, I don't know if anyone's really throwing games in college. I think the scary thing is the prop betting. And part of the prop betting, of the scary part of the prop betting, is that you could say, hey, and I'm using 5 to 7 to 10,000. What about 3,000, 2,000? Hey, here's 1,500. Just miss a free throw. You know what I mean? Just miss your first free throw. I mean, that to me is the most dangerous thing, and I think that's where they got to be careful. And somehow, some way, if they could eliminate prop betting, I think that would go a long way. They're not going to eliminate gambling on games. I think eliminating prop betting could really, and I don't think they'll do that, but I think that's the most scary part, is that right there.
You know what I would do? I told my son this. He's coaching at Illinois State. I said, you can talk about gambling all you want, but I would teach kids how easy it is to get caught. When all of a sudden, these sites, they have all of these algorithms, all these companies watching every bet. All of a sudden, there's $10,000. That's what I would do as a coach. I would teach, okay, this is so easy. The coach at Alabama baseball got caught like that. It's so easy to get caught. I don't know if kids understand. I wouldn't have understood it. No idea.
Yeah, it is. Well, no, you're right. It is easy to get caught in this day and age, Coach. And, you look at what happened. If they can catch you in the NBA and they can catch you, anywhere else, they're going to catch you. I mean, I always like to say there are no secrets, especially in this day and age. I mean, you saw, Coach, that thing with LSU baseball. Remember back, I think it was a couple of years ago. Wasn't the LSU maybe not the baseball coach. I don't want to say the wrong name. School is one of the coaches. One of the schools they were betting, and then they threw a friend, and somehow the government found out. I don't know if
it was Alabama.
Alabama, that's right.
It was Alabama baseball coach. Yeah.
So you think, hey, I'll do it here. Nobody's going to know. I just think in 2025, with technology, AI, cameras, I don't know if there's really no secrets anymore. So you think, hey, I'll do this. No one will know. Not in today's climate, and that's why in the 90s. Maybe the early 2000s, you can get away with stuff. I just don't see you getting away with stuff in this day and age.
I agree. I totally agree. Hey, you spent time away, did a great job broadcasting. What's the biggest difference in you as a coach? What'd you learn from that time out?
I'll tell you what, my time out, I loved doing TV. And the first day I was on the job, the guy asked me, a guy came in who averaged 3 points and 2 rebounds and asked me for $300,000. Another guy asked me for 220 and he barely played. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Where have I been? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? Now, I don't know if they thought they could take advantage of me because I've been out for a while. You know what I mean? So I was like, goodness gracious. When I was doing TV, I was responsible for myself. Now I got to make decisions. If a guy's averaging 3 points, if I need to pay him $300,000, I'm like, man, that's about $100,000 a point you're asking for. I mean, that's more money than LeBron James makes. You know what I mean? Per point. So I think the biggest thing is, though, Coach, is because look, these jobs are really hard to get, as you know, and so I've enjoyed it. I think it's fun to try to build it back up and rally the community. Same thing that obviously Coach Mullen, Dan Mullen, coming from television, the same thing. So I'm excited about it. But it's different. It's different. And you know what, Coach? I don't mind the difference right now. To me, the rules, it's just streamlined everything. I mean, you know how it is. Back in the day, I would spend 3 years chasing a player. And if you got him, great. And if not, you were depressed for weeks and months. And now you just know in 3 weeks, you're either going to get the kid or not. You just deal with the agent. Here's the money. If it doesn't work out, you just move to the next kid. It's so much more efficient now. It's just right to the point. You figure out what the deal is going to be between you and the agent and the player, and then you got to see if it's the right fit. and then you move to the next. And if it doesn't work, you just move to the next guy. So I think efficiency, I like the new rules.
It's less personal, right? Like, I used to take it personal. Why is he going there and he didn't come here? He doesn't like me. Wait, what did I do wrong? Now it's less personal, right?
Well, there's no more of the 5 hats, as you know, Coach, and they're picking which hat, and they pick the hat on, and you're like, you're sitting there, and you're like, and you're just hoping you even get official visit and all. Now it's just like, hey, man, it's just, you don't want to, we'll go to the next guy. It's like, it's not like, you said it best. It's less personal. We all used to take it personal, and it would destroy you when you didn't get the guy, and it would become so just, it would become bigger than life in a sense in the recruit. Now it's just like, if you miss on a kid, you move to the next one, and you do it all within a short time frame.
Hey, I want a last thing before I let you go. Calipari's been, and I think he's really onto something here. Do coaches, basketball is the only sport that really only has one season. My wife coached softball. They had 2 seasons, a fall and, Calipari's talking about, Vegas should host in the summer in August. Indianapolis should host, Indiana, Purdue, Kentucky, summer basketball on ESPN or Fox, wherever. I think it's a pretty good idea to get kids familiar, get them playing. You guys practice so damn much. It's like, Jesus. Would you be in favor of a second season in August as you get ready for school to start?
First of all, Coach Calipari has been innovative in everything he's done. I mean, whether it's the one and done, whether it's whatever it may be. I mean, he's ahead of his time on that. And I agree with him. Like, first of all, the amount of practices that we've had, we should be having 4 or 5 exhibition games, not just 2. And I do think they should have things in the summer. I agree. We need to play more games. We have so many practices, Coach. I mean, at some point you got to play. And we get 2 exhibition games. Like, we got to play more games to see kind of where things are at. And the amount of time that we're spending in practice, that's why I think you're also seeing more injuries, because it's practice, which is great. But you need to play games. And I think if there'd be less injuries all across the board, if we had more opportunities to play scrimmages against each other, whether it's in the summer, whether it's in the fall, whatever it may be, there'd be less injuries if we had more games, because you have so many practices. It's hard to gauge on things. And I think you got to be able to play games, and that's got to be really loosened up in a hurry, more so than anything else.
Last thing. People feel like, and this does go back to Tarkanian, people feel like there is an unlimited amount of money that you as a Vegas coach have access to, because we all see the casinos and all that kind of stuff. Is that true? I mean, is your NIL situation better than anybody's in the country?
No, look, I've had to really get out there and fundraise and put my hard hat on and working boots on and go fundraise. Literally, that's what you're thinking of every day. Part of the thing, though, is, Coach, you got to remember the casinos back in the day were owned by individuals. So, and that they were tied to the community. The casinos now today are owned by huge corporations that don't even live in Las Vegas, if that makes sense. So it's a different deal. And so everyone says, why don't you just go get the money from the casino here or there? Yeah, we have relationships with the casinos, but the top of the line that determines where the money's going to go to, they're huge conglomerates. They're corporations. It's not as much of we're back in the day in the 90s. It was in the 80s and 90s. It was all by one, individuals owned each hotel. And they were all lived in Las Vegas, and they were tied into the program in that they wanted to see it be successful. That's the big difference right now. So yes, there's monies with the casinos, but you're dealing with a huge corporation and a group. So to get to them, it's not maybe what it was prior to be able to that easy access, what it was back in the day.
No, that makes sense. I mean, the relationship, Steve Wynn and Tark and everybody, that's kind of the deal. And that makes perfect sense. Actually, when I asked the question, I'd totally forgotten about that. Hell, I'm still stuck in 1990 or 1987. What's wrong with
No, but they've sold, because so many of these guys have sold their businesses to large corporations. You look at the different hotels. Some of these hotels are owned by the same group, 4 different, but different names. And it's just totally different world now, as you know. And but I will say this: Vegas is booming. Vegas is booming, and you look at it, it's the entertainment capital of the world. It's the sports capital of the world. You see what's coming in here. I mean, everything's running through Vegas. So that to us is a great advantage. Yes, the money's important, and we still got a long way to go on that. But just the foot traffic that comes through Las Vegas is a big deal for us when you're talking about people love Las Vegas. People love Las Vegas.
Well, you ain't lying that for a long-ass time, too. Hey, Coach, I know you open up tomorrow. Thanks for the time, my man, and we're rooting for you. Tell Danny Mullen we said hello and Megan. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
There he goes, the great Josh Pastner. The new shark. That's right. Vegas is going to be rolling between Danny Mullen and Josh Pastner. Hell yeah. Why wouldn't you want to go to Vegas? Damn right. It's fun. And Josh, a terrific coach and a terrific guy to play for and be around. So there you go. We'll be right back. Hey, how is everybody doing? It is Monday. Let's overreact to one thing. I don't want to hear about Daniel Jones being no good. Stop it. Bad day. Don't at me live. Wednesday night. What? We have a very cool new feature of Don't At Me coming your way. We do Wednesday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. We're going live on our channel, our Don't At Me channel, to react to your questions. It's going to be lit, yo. That's right. All you got to do is make sure, go right now and subscribe to youtube.com/@Don't At Me with Dan Dakich. Go subscribe every Wednesday night. That's where it's going to be. I got my cheesy smile on. There you go. I can't wait. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take your questions, read your comments, and it'll be a good time, really good time. And then, of course, I don't know if y'all know this, but we're going to be in Bloomington for Don't At Me on the road. We're going to be down in Bloomtucky for the Indiana taking on Wisconsin game. Indiana probably the best team in college football right now if you go by how they're playing. I get it. A lot of people don't think so, but those people are wrong. Speaking of Indiana football, stock up, stock down. Oops! I went and got a sandwich. Indiana just scored again. Indiana football. And our guy Fernando Mendoza for the Heisman, I got to tell you, it's fascinating to me. Again, I think I say this every week. Indiana destroyed Maryland. Indiana dropped 50-plus, and they did it so easy. You know, when I look at what's going on in college football and all the firings, and all I hear is, hey, you got to get Lane Kiffin to come to your team. Why? You're telling me, and Wednesday I think I'm going to have a list. Wednesday I'm going to have a list of guys that can win at any single level. Like, why wouldn't an athletic director, instead of chasing some of these guys that have been okay at other schools, why wouldn't an athletic director try to go and find the next Signetti? You know, Teddy Karras over here at Marion University. Marion University started, I'm being literal here, on a field where they got kicked off. Some lady's backyard or wherever they were practicing was a park, they thought. Turned out, well, you know what? It was some lady's field. She kicked them off their first practice. Next thing you know, 5 years later, they're winning a national championship. Think about that. Teddy Karras would be a guy that I would call. I mean, I get it. We're all supposed to jump up and down, stand on our head, and crap snowballs, right? I guarantee that's what we're supposed to do. We're all supposed to say, hey, let's go get Lane Kiffin or Matt Campbell or whoever. All right. I'd go find a Signetti because Indiana is the best football team in America right now. And I'm only basing that on performance. Ohio State, great job. Ohio State, a little back and forth early. They decided, nah, we're not messing around with Penn State. Penn State did. I played on this kind of team. You're okay for a while, and then you go away. No. Penn State, Ohio State, and now Julian Sayin, the quarterback at Ohio State, has become the front runner for the Heisman. He ain't winning the Heisman. No, I'm not kidding you. He's not winning the Heisman. Fernando Mendoza should win the Heisman. You can plug in any quarterback at Ohio State and win like that. What Indiana is doing with Fernando Mendoza is historic. I mean, the number of points they scored, the leading scoring team, leading margin of victory, all this stuff. And this guy doesn't even play. Hell, his brother was going down the sideline, and people actually thought from Purdue, of course, that Signetti was padding Mendoza's stats by leaving him in there when it was his brother. It's unbelievable. World Series MVP, Yamamoto. Look, good for him. Pitching performance for the ages, fantastic. But I got to tell you something. I would argue this. I would argue that the World Series stock up. I would argue baseball stock up. How about Pages or Pages or whatever the hell his name is catching left field? How about that? Hadn't hit worth a lick. They put him in center field as a defensive replacement. He goes into the gap and makes an unbelievable play. Unbelievable. How about the ball getting stuck under the wall? It was high drama, and Yamamoto absolutely deserved to be the MVP. No question about it. No question. But damn, the MVP of our fall, the Fall Classic, that was awesome. That wasn't kind of, sort of, I got to quit playing with my glasses. That wasn't kind of, sort of, maybe good. That was, holy hell, is that good? Holy hell, is this fun? Holy hell, look at that play. Look at that throw. Look at that tag. Man, I miss baseball already. I do. I mean, Sunday Night Football is great. I don't get Monday Night Football apparently because I have YouTube, and I ain't going to miss it. I don't miss any of that. I don't care. Woo, baby, baseball was good. Stock up Halloween parties. I went to one over at my buddy John Zahner's house. I should have sent it to you guys. My wife dressed up in a Indiana basketball uniform, number 11. And she said, yeah, I'm not you. I said, what do you mean you're not me? She goes, nope, I'm Isaiah Thomas. Oh, you can't be Isaiah Thomas. You're wearing number 11. So I was texting Isaiah. I said, yo, my wife is dressed up as you. And I sent Isaiah Thomas, or I sent number 11 to two of our friends, Dane Fife, who wore number 11, Todd Jadlow, who wore number 11. I put us all in a group chat, and I said, yo, my wife is dressing up, not as me. What the hell? That sucks. I got to send you, my wife sent this thing. I'm sending this to my guys at Don't At Me, because this is my wife dressed up as Isaiah freaking Thomas. And no, don't worry. She handled the ball okay, not great. She handled it all right. She's not Isaiah, but I got to tell you. I got to tell you. Man, Halloween parties are fun. I sat with my buddy. I'm 250. My buddy Scott Chance, about $3. We sat in a one-person chair, laughed our ass off. I dressed as Pat McAfee. I put on a McAfee jersey. He dressed as the host's wife. And we had a great time. I had a great time. I love Halloween. Not one kid came to our door. I like that better. I do. I don't understand it. I'd have come to my door just to meet me. There was a guy we thought was a kicker for the Redskins in our neighborhood. He wasn't. We thought he was. So, of course, we went to his house. How can you not just come to my house to meet me? What a good time I am. Stock down, Daniel Jones, 5 turnovers versus Steelers, Gary. That's right, Gary. No, I got to tell you, I'm going to go on a rant about this real quick. You got to make adjustments as a quarterback. I saw yesterday why Daniel Jones may not be it. I'll tell you why. He kept dropping back too deep. He did, and he put his defensive or offensive tackles, both left and right side, against Highsmith and Watt at a real disadvantage. You know, if you drop back too deep, the angle of the left edge rusher and the right edge rusher is such that they can come back at you. If you are up in here, then the edge rusher gets pushed behind you. Jones never made the adjustment. Now, I can blame it, and I should, I would, I can't, on the offensive line. And that's fine, you can. And I have Jones, you know about my parlay, where Jones and Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman and, of course, the MVP respectively. I get $32,000 on a $50 bet. That's probably gone by the wayside. But Daniel Jones made no adjustment. You drop back. If you're getting hit the same way, then you don't drop back so far. You step up. He kept throwing the ball back this way instead of this way. And every time he stepped into a pass, it was a different pass. But he kept doing the same thing over and over and over again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. He never adjusted. The great quarterbacks adjust. The great quarterbacks run a little inside handoff and go at the pass rusher, inside the pass rusher. Steichen never did that. Honest to God, you didn't hear one person say that either. T.J. Watt or J.J. Watt, whatever the hell his name was, an Iron Eagle. They had no idea. They were too busy talking about stupid stuff. But I watched it twice once last night and then once this morning before the show, and I'm like, it just hit me. It's like, that's just dumb. What are you doing? So Daniel Jones, you got to get that corrected. That has to be corrected. The coaching staff has to correct it. Stock down. Mario Cristobal in Miami. I want to talk about this for a second. I'm so tired about hearing about the U. I really am. Again, Mario Cristobal. He gets this job. That's no different than some of these guys that are going to get hired. Mario Cristobal gets this job. And the world can't wait to talk about the U, right? Because they have one big win. See, back in the day when the U were rebels, when Luther Campbell was cheating their ass off, and you had really high energy, high-powered personalities playing football at the U, you know what you had? You had interest. And the world of college football has tried to recapture that, and I got to tell you, it's not interesting. I'm sorry. It's just not. I mean, the U. So the U wins a game early. Did you know this? Did you know that Pittsburgh has a better record than the U? Pittsburgh. Did you know that Virginia is undefeated in the ACC? Did you know that Georgia Tech is 8-1? No, you wouldn't. Why? Because everybody wants to talk about the 18th ranked the U. The U has won 6 games, 5 of them at home. What the hell's the U? Honest to God. No, it's one of the most amazing things. All I hear about is the U this, the U that. Did you know that Louisville is 7-1? The U is 6-2. The U loses. Honest to God. Again, this is what I'm saying. This is what Mario Cristobal did in his previous stops. Okay, fine. Signetti, guy like that coming from James Madison, won 80% of his games. If I'm an AD, I got to tell you, man, no. No, the U ain't it. The U just is not it. But they want it to be so bad. They want it to be so bad. Rebels, tough guys, crazy people, interesting stories. That's nothing interesting. Mario Cristobal is uninteresting. Carson Beck stinks. Carson Beck is one of those guys that's probably a really good dude. But the way he looks, the way he goes about his business, I don't know. I don't like it. You got my wife going, hey, yo, Zeke.
Yo, Zeke.
Oh, man. Look at the lady in the background. She's dead. She's got her doll. Look at her. My wife said, hey, I'm not you. I'm Isaiah Thomas. And the lady in the background, our neighbors, creeping and a peeping. Oh, man, Democrats using the government shutdown as leverage. Hey, this is so ridiculous. I mean, again, everything's just lies. The whole world is full of lies. There is a time Obama and all the other Democrats said a government shutdown is an insult to the American people, blah, 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 blah. Now, guess what happened? When it came time, their Trump derangement syndrome, well, it hit. I don't understand how we tolerate this as a people. I honestly don't, Republican or Democrat. I don't get it. There are people out there that are actually celebrating this, celebrating people not getting their jobs. My wife was out of town for a week. She was down in Florida with friends. The husband of the friend missing a paycheck, military guy. No, it's unbelievable to me. You know who's getting their paychecks? The guys that shut down the government. I don't understand the balls on these people. I don't even call them the balls on these people. See, saying somebody has balls in my world, that's a compliment. I refuse to compliment the Pelosi's of the world, the Schumers of the world. They're so against this government. They're so against Trump that they don't care who gets hurt in between, and they don't care how much they lie. This is a mess. And it's not going to probably affect you and me on a daily basis, but it affects a lot of people. I don't understand. I get it. You want to say the Republicans are doing this. Sure doesn't seem like it. Sure doesn't seem like it at all. And to use it as leverage against the American people? What are you doing? Do your thing. I tell you what, I would actually have a little bit of respect for this if you all didn't take your paychecks. But here's the deal. Y'all are making so much money in the stock market. Y'all have made so much money with the grift, the graft, all the stuff. You Democratic leaders, what do you care? I mean, hell, when that idiot Jasmine Crockett has a portfolio worth, I don't know, some have reported as high as $10, $12 million, the easiest thing in the world, apparently, is to make money being in Congress. So you don't give a rat's ass about the military guy that isn't going to get a paycheck. You don't give a rat's ass that we're all going to be stuck in airports or wherever we're going on business, different things, because there's nobody at TSA. Yeah, I don't give a rat's ass because you care about you. No, you don't. You care about hurting Trump. That's all you care about. It's astounding to me how stupid we've become. It's astounding to me what liars we have in Congress. You can literally look into a camera and lie about anything if you are a member of Congress, and nobody calls you out. Nobody. You got the media in pocket. It's astounding. And it's sad. Truly, truly sad. I never really thought we would ever be in this position. You know, guys like even Obama, somewhat, certainly Bill Clinton, they'd be considered Republicans right now. We've lost our minds so much. Sad. Desperately sad. I'll tell you what's not sad, the Patriot Awards. It's officially Patriot Awards week, and we're excited to finally announce a few special guests joining us this Thursday right here in New York for the most patriotic awards show on television. Country music star Jason Aldean and his beautiful wife Brittany Aldean will join Jesse Waters, in presenting Erica Kirk with the first ever Charlie Kirk Legacy Award. Jason Aldean will perform live. These are just some of the many, many surprises we have in store for you this year, and we cannot wait. Join us for an incredible evening honoring true American patriots. We'll have more special guests to share with you tomorrow. Stay tuned for that, but if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, there are still some left. Go to foxnation.com/Patriot Awards. Hope to see you there. If you plan on tuning in from home, watch live this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, foxnation.com. You certainly don't want to miss it. College football news, Auburn has fired Hugh Freeze, and really funny, Hugh Freeze is, come on. I mean, he was spouting all this religious stuff while going and calling hookers from his office. Look, let's just be honest. Why would you do that, Auburn, in the first place? Like, why? Why can't you find a guy that wouldn't do that? Why couldn't you find a guy that would have the respect of people? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think players probably think like this anymore, but I would have. When I played college basketball, if somebody would have told me, Coach Knight's out and we're hiring some guy that was calling hookers from a previous job in our conference, I honestly, I don't know. I think I would have stayed at Indiana because it's Indiana, but how can you respect that? I'll never understand it. Bobby Petrino wants the job at Arkansas. I wouldn't give Bobby Petrino a job anywhere near an athletic department. But what is wrong with people? What is wrong with these people that do the hiring? That's why I say about Scott Dolson. Scott Dolson, the athletic director at Indiana, thinking outside the box. Previous athletic directors have hired the guy from Miami. Unfortunately, he passed away, Terry Hepner. He's like a legend in Indiana. He went like 7-14 in the Big Ten. They hired Jerry DiNardo. They hired crazy-ass Kevin Wilson. I mean, damn, finally, an athletic director, Scott Dolson, said, wait a second, let's get someone that's used to building a program with maybe a little less and then winning. He's used to both. Well, Indiana got that guy in Cignetti, but I'm looking at all these guys. Really, Matt Rule gets an extension at Nebraska? What's he done? I mean, Matt Rule getting an extension at Nebraska saved you all, Penn State. Now, I don't know, and I'm going to have it for you tomorrow. I'm going to go through a list of guys that an intelligent athletic director at least has to look at that has won. But Hugh Freeze, you imagine those dudes that are 18 to 23-year-old. Hugh Freeze walks in with that religious crap, and these guys all know that he was calling hookers, I guess allegedly calling hookers, from his office. I don't think that goes over well. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure I am, and you're right. But how about you do that? How about you find somebody like Cignetti? There's a bunch of them out there. Hell, there's a guy at DePaul University, Division III, that all he does is win. I don't know what their record is this year. I'm going to look it up real quick, but I guarantee you it's, I don't know. It's like probably 7-1, 9-1. I don't know. I mean, I'm just telling you, that's the way it is around here. You got guys that can absolutely win, and 7-1. All they do is score like a bazillion points, 75 to nothing. How about that? That's amazing. Hey, let's woke-a-dope it, shall we? Woke-a-dope, woke-a-woke-a-dope, woke-a-dope. The people chanting death to America should not be allowed to live in America. Simple. So if you are here and you are marching about death to America, what is your contribution on a daily basis to make America better? I didn't say great because you MAGA haters, you lose your mind on that. But what are you contributing here other than trying to rot us out from the inside? That's what you're doing. You're trying to create such rot. You know, it's like you look at these walls and there's rot going on inside and all of a sudden it collapses. That's what these folks are trying to do. So kick their ass out. Kick them out immediately. You're in a death to America. Okay, where you want to go? Because we're sending your ass out of here, man. No. You're sending your ass out of here. Simple. Don't let the rot stay. Next. Hey, I heard you're handing out free stuff. There he is. The bastion of free stuff. The guy who tells us all how to live while not living the same way. Arguably, my favorite crook. I don't even know if he's a crook. He's got to be. He must not be. He's not in jail. But if anybody doesn't think that Bernie Sanders doesn't want free stuff, you're not paying attention. Bernie, seriously, I get it, man. You're from Vermont, a state as big as my head, a state about as important as, this show. But anyway, all you want is free stuff, and you become a bazillionaire by telling everybody else, gimme, gimme, gimme. Bernie, I hope you got the big size candies. Next! Democrats then and now, ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country, right? AOC, free stuff! Everybody wants free stuff. That's what I'm saying. I mean, what a difference, huh? Isn't this a completely different deal? I mean, isn't it amazing? No, it really is. It's actually astounding. We're just going to go about the business of trying to get free stuff. That's it. That's what we want. That's what this country was not built on. This country was working for your stuff. But now all of a sudden, this rot is in here. And we're going to allow it? Yeah, I guess we are. One thing I'm glad about, it don't affect me. It don't affect me even a little bit. I hope it doesn't affect you, but it's going to affect New York. I watch this stuff, and I'm just amazed. You know, we've become so brazen. My wife works in the mall here, high-end fashion mall here, store across the street. 4 dudes walk in, intimidate the little girls that are working there and steal. Just walk out with stuff. And you're not allowed to say anything. Why? Because they're African-American. They tell you, no, you can't do it. It might be racist. What? That's insanity to me. That's absolutely insanity to me. That must stop. I get it. You want free stuff through the government, but you can't just go take free stuff. There has to be some laws in this country, does there not? I don't care whether you're black, white, green, purple, whatever. There's got to be some laws. Last thing. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I have no interest in college basketball right now. I want to have interest in college basketball. I do. I really and truly do. I want to say, man, I cannot wait for this particular game. The only interest that I have in college basketball, frankly, is Illinois State, which opens up on the road Thursday night at freaking Ohio University. And as we talked with Coach Pastner about, there's a lot of really good games. There's a lot of really, really good games to start the season. But me, my boss Gary, the rest of us, we're like, hey, I don't know. I want to bring it back, the World Series. I mean, Florida, Arizona. Okay. Michigan's going to raise a banner tonight. That's cool. But I'm looking at it going, yeah, okay. This will be fun. But to the point of, you tell me, and I'm interested, and I'm going to talk about this because I'm going to get interested in college basketball. I am. There will be a time I get interested in college basketball, but that time is not right now. I don't know why. I think I've become like other fans. People have told me, college basketball is a 1 month sport. I got to tell you, I agree. To me, I absolutely agree. I think college basketball has become a 1 month sport. Now, maybe it's that I'm not involved in it, and this is probably the 5th, 6th year that I haven't been involved in it, and I've become like a fan. That's probably it. But the truth of the matter is, you name me something interesting in college basketball. Go ahead. Can't. You really can't. So I'm going to enjoy it eventually. But I got to tell you, I feel bad, terrible. Nothing interests me. I'm looking at all these games, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, great. Today's opening day. And I don't care. Might be the first time ever. Not happy about that. We'll see you tomorrow.